So there are a few things that I would want us to go through pretty first. Yeah, what we call absorption costing, absorption, that is traditional. Then we have activity-based costing, ABC. So meaning of ABC. ABC allocates overheads based on activities that drive costs, not the broad averages like we normally do for the normal absorption. So basically we focus on activities. Yeah, for example, to be able, ladies and gentlemen, to do a whole building, which kind of activities must we go through? For example, there'll be clearing of the bushes. There'll be excavation of trenches for foundation. There'll be the laying of foundation. We lay the foundation wall very nicely. Then we shall be able to put up our concrete slab. Then we do the normal walling. All those are activities. Now, the first thing that you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, whenever it comes to activity-based costing, you must come up with all the activities that are needed for you to be able to complete your project, which is your house here. So you identify the activities. You assign costs to what we call activity cost pools. Yeah, and then you identify what we call cost drivers. Yeah, compute cost driver rates, absorb overheads based on actual activity usage. ABC versus our traditional absorption costing differences. The bases. Ladies and gentlemen, ABC, we look at the activities. Yeah. And then in this case here, the traditional overhead absorption, we look at the volume. If it's a building, how many, for example, labor hours? Yeah. How many machine hours? So here it's volume-based. ABC, it's activity-based. Accuracy, ABC is very, very high. It's very accurate. Traditional, it's low. In this case here, whenever you have many types of products, traditional absorption costing can never give you the true cost. Cost drivers, for ABC, we have multiple. For the traditional absorption, ladies and gentlemen, we deal with what we call single. That is why we call it the blanket wide. So I can see somebody wants this handout. I've always shared this handout with you. I raise my voice. You're not able to hear Mwalimu well. Are you not able to hear Mwalimu nicely? Let me try my best. So I hope now it's a bit better. Okay, great. Thank you for that, because you're also producing videos for the future. And then you can do me a favor. You can, in this case here, share this handout. You can share the handout instead of me closing my window. Somebody should be able to help me do that. Then, so we have the cost drivers. For ABC, it's multiple. For traditional, it's a single, what we call the blanket wide. Yeah. And then, of course, focus. Here we have what we call cause effect. Yeah, cause effect, there is a clear relationship between the activities and the cost. When it comes to traditional, we talk of what here somebody broad averages. I'll be able to explain this later as we progress. This is useful for very complex multi-product farms. Yeah, if you're making many products, like now RCM, we have CPA, we have ACCA, ATD, CAMS. If in this case here you are an organization for many types of products, then ABC will be the model for you to predict your costs, to do your cost ascertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, if you're producing just one item, like it's cement, and you're doing mass production, then the traditional method will be very, very helpful. Classification of cost drivers. We have the ones which are volume related. The more we produce, the bigger the cost driver will be. So e.g. machine hours, labor hours, those are volume related. The higher the volumes, the higher the machine hours. Then we have the ones which in this case here you have, to go through whenever you're setting up batches. If you're producing, for example, every time you set up your machines like this, you produce 10,000 batches. So these cost drivers, some of them could be batch related, e.g. setup cost, machine setup cost, purchase orders, product related. Yeah, the design hours, the testing. We have in this case here those cost drivers which are facility sustaining. For us to be able to sustain our facilities, we must pay rent, for example. We must have factory insurance. Then we have what we are calling hierarchy of cost drivers. Just listen, you'll be able to understand this as we progress. So the hierarchy of cost drivers, we have what we call unit level, the per unit. Like for example, machine cost per unit. Yeah, e.g. power, like how we do kilowatts. So how many kilowatts do you need per unit? How many material units do you need for each product that you produce? Batch level per batch, e.g. setup costs, etc. We have product sustaining per product line, e.g. design, research development. Then we have facility sustaining overall support, e.g. administration, security, etc. That you may not be able to understand very well. So, of course, the others are not very, very relevant. The most important thing now is us to appreciate this one question. And it will take me exactly 30 minutes to do this question, which is really easy. It is August 2024, question number 4, boy. Is it the one, really? Is it the one? No. The one that was homework? Yeah. The one that was homework is this one here. Aquatic Limited manufactures water dispensers for both domestic and office use using absorption costing system. There are 3 models branding: regular, medium, and deluxe. Selected data for the 3 products is as follows. So we have our model, direct materials, direct labor, hours per unit. Yeah, machine hours per unit. Then we have our production volume. Additional information, the total cost per unit is loaded a profit markup of 20% to determine the selling price. Direct labor cost is shillings 2,100 per labor hour. Currently, production overheads are absorbed based on a blanket-wide or blanket-wise machine hour absorption costing basis. The rate for the period is 1,500 per machine hour. Budgeted annual production overheads for Aquatic Limited amounted to 25,200. Further analysis shows that the production overheads can be apportioned according to ABC. And then they have given us the cost pools apportionment. So we have the cost pools, we have apportionment, we have the cost drivers given to us nicely. The following cost drivers are associated with the models. Yeah, they're given there. So they want us to calculate for each model the full cost and the selling price per unit and a blanket-wise absorption costing approach. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen, because if it's blanket-wise, what do I need? If it's blanket-wise, ladies and gentlemen, what I would need is to calculate the OAR, which will be applicable for each product. And actually, they have given us the OAR, the overhead absorption rate. But let's compute it. Let's assume that we do not have it, and we compute it, all of us here. Great. So let's compute it, all of us here. Thank you so much. Let's compute it, all of us here. So we want to get OAR for the traditional absorption costing. So can somebody in this case here remind us the formula for getting OAR? Is there somebody who is able to remind us the formula for getting OAR? Yeah, is it August 2022 or 2024? I always like doing the most recent questions. I think it should be 2024. So OAR will be equal to who? Remember, this is the overhead absorption rate. All right, thank you so much. Total budgeted overheads. So in this case, it will be total budgeted overheads all over total budgeted machine hours, because they have told us the rate to be used, one cost driver. Yeah. So then in this case, I don't have a problem with the total budgeted overheads. Do we have a problem? No. This one is known. Is there somebody who is able to read for us from the question? How much are we budgeting in total? Yeah, from the question, the total budgeted overheads from the question, my good students. My good students. Yeah. So in these particular cases and gentlemen, you can see how much we are budgeting. You can see how much you are budgeting. Budgeted annual production overheads are 25,200,000. We don't have a problem with that. 25,200,000. So come and get this total machine hours. Total machine hours for all the products. So the total machine hours for all the products, what do we have? Thank you so much. All right. So in this case here, you can see machine hours, but these are per unit. And we said yesterday, whenever you're given machine hours per unit or anything which is at a unit level, you must always multiply this with the number of units. So then we can see machine hours per unit, 1.5 times 800. So the first product will be 1.5 times 800 plus the second one will be 1 times 1200. 1 times 1200 plus, ladies and gentlemen, the third one, it will be 3 times 4800. So you give us the total machine hours. So is there somebody who is able to give us these total machine hours? Anybody who is able to give us these total machine hours? 16,800, right? 16,800. 16,800. So now bring this 16,800 here. You'll be able to get, in this case here, OAR per machine hour. OAR per machine hour. You're going to get OAR per machine hour. So in this case here, they're giving us a figure of 1,500 Kenya shillings, 1,500 per machine hour. In most cases, even this rate will be given to you. In most cases, this will be given to you. Like in this question, if you are confident, you know, the biggest problem that we normally experience, we as MA examiners, is that students are never confident. So even when they are given parameters within a question, they still can't use those parameters. Yeah, because these exams like management accounting, you know, management accounting is the toughest paper. Are you aware that management accounting is the toughest paper in the intermediate level? You know, many of you will keep on thinking it's FR, it is FM. No. At the intermediate level, MA is the toughest paper. And then at the advanced level, advanced MA is the toughest paper. And that is why at RCM, we tend to even give you extra, we don't give you extra sessions for FR. No. No. For MA, we must always, in this case here, give you many sessions just to build up your confidence, All right. So like in this particular question, you are given, I'm not saying it is the toughest to scare you, I'm telling you it is the toughest for you to prepare well. So like now here, you are given currently production overheads are absorbed based on a blanket-wise machine hour absorption costing basis. The rate for the period is 1,500 per hour. So what do they want us to do in the question? Let me see what they want us to do. Calculate for each model the full cost and the selling price per unit under the blanket-wise absorption rate, like that. So full cost. So they want us to give them full cost. So then you can go ahead and give us the overheads for the three. So give us the total overheads. In this case here, for each one of them, for our three products. So do you know the name? Do you know the name of our products? Oh, yes. It's regular, medium, and deluxe. Okay, so then we shall be able to go right ahead with our total overheads. So how do we get these total overheads? It will be OAR times total machine hours times total machine hours. Machine hours. Because you see the overhead absorption rate here is per machine hour. Per machine hour. So we start with regular. So the regular, we know it will be 1,500 per machine hour times all the machine hours that we need in regular. Can someone tell me how many machine hours do we need for regular? How many machine hours do we need for regular? How many machine hours do we need for regular? 1,200, isn't it? Yeah, they're here. These are the machine hours. You pick them from here. So it will be this times 1.5 times 800. So is there someone who can give me this answer? Total overhead in Kenya shillings for regular. Because these are the machine hours of regular. They are 1,200, somebody has told me. 1.8 million. Then the absorption rate is the same for all the products. That's why we are calling it company-wide or blanket-wise or blanket-wide rate. So it will be 1,500 times machine hours for the medium. These are the machine hours of the medium. So times 1 times 1,200. So is there somebody who has this answer? The same? Yeah, because this was 1,200. The same, right? The same, eh? Right. Thank you so much. 1.8 million. Then we go to deluxe. So deluxe, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have under deluxe? Under deluxe. So deluxe, we know we are using the blanket wide rate, which is 1,500. In this case here, times, ladies and gentlemen. 1,500 times, ladies and gentlemen, the hours of deluxe. Deluxe is a special product. It's an expensive product. So can somebody give me this total overheads? 21,600,000. 21,600,000. Remember, the examiner wants us to get full cost. The examiner wants us to get full cost. So they want us to get full cost. What do we need to do? What do you think will be the next thing for us to do? We add prime cost. This is a very good ninja. We now add prime cost. Add prime. Do you know examples of prime cost or primary cost? Do you know examples of prime cost or primary costs? Yeah, we can either do a cost statement home PC separately or we just continue with this one. Yeah, direct material cost. I mean, you guys, why are we here? My imagination is that you guys are already very good with this. Keep it up. So we have here prime costs. So we have direct material cost. Direct material cost. And then, of course, we have here direct labor cost. Direct labor cost. So direct material cost, are you able to see the direct material cost in the question? Oh, yes. This is given to us. So you can see here, direct material cost per unit. So whenever they use the word per unit, we must always multiply with the number of units. Like for regular, you will take 2,500 times 800. 2,500 times 800. Please give me a figure to write. You can write somewhere here for your revision. I don't know how you'll write it. You can just write for one product for your revision. Later on, you need to revise 2,500 times 800. For your revision, you can write somewhere. So this one here gives me 2 million. Are you able to give me for the other products now pretty fast now that you have known the concept? So now we go to medium. So medium, you take the material cost per medium unit. So 2,500 times 800. 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 times number of medium units. Medium, I'm told, is 3.9 million. And then we have deluxe. Deluxe will be what here, somebody? Deluxe is 26.4 million, right? Thank you so much. 26.4 million. 26.4 million. So please write this one here, right? You know, I know also that I'm teaching very busy students. You may tend to forget a few things, so it's good for you to write, eh? Yeah. Then we have, in this case here, direct labor. So direct labor, they have given me direct labor hours per unit, eh? Not a problem. So I will take this direct labor hours per unit times number of units. So we have here 0.75 times 800. So we have 0.75 times 800. But you see now, here you are giving me hours. And I want labor cost. So then they will give you labor cost per hour. You can see this one, note 2. Direct labor cost is 2,100 per hour. So times 2,100. And then you do the same for the 3 products. Times 2,100. Times 2,100. Are you able to give me the answers here? Are you able to give me the answers here? So the first one is 1260,000. Thank you very much. 1260,000. So are you able to do me a favor and get all the others? I've shown you what I've done with regular. Now you can use the same approach, get the total number of hours for regular times the 2,100 is constant per hour. 2,100 is constant per hour. So for regular, some ninjas are giving me a figure of 3780,000. That is for medium. How about deluxe? Use the same approach. Use the same approach to give me the direct material cost total, because they want us to give them full cost. So I'm being given a figure of 10,080,000. 10,080,000. I believe we don't have any other cost. 10,080,000. Now you can come and give us the total cost. Total cost, what we call the full cost. Give us the total cost, what we call the full cost, which will be overheads plus the prime costs. You don't need a row for total prime cost, no. You can just get the total. You can't be penalized by anybody. So then regular will be 1.8 million plus 2 million plus 1260,000, which will end up giving us what figure? 50,60,000. 50,60,000, like that. And then now you go to medium. So medium, you take this plus this plus this, you give me a figure. Medium, I'm told in this case here by Gadoni, it's 94,80,000. 94,80,000. 94,80,000. Now from there, you go to deluxe and add the 3. Please always feel free to ask questions. If you are keen, you must have realized that I normally read all your inboxes here, all your messages. I normally read all your messages. And of course, if you fear, for example, to put a question to everybody, there is a way in Zoom you can put a message to me directly. Yeah, so please use that chat box very well. That is a game changer. That's a game changer. So for deluxe, it's 58,080,000. 58,080,000. 58,080,000, like that. So have we finished the question? Have we finished the question? No. The examiner wanted up to selling price. So for me to be able to get selling price, I know that I'm not in this world for charity. I must charge a profit. I must charge a profit. Yeah. So in this case here, come and charge a profit. For me, I'll be forced to copy this up there. Yeah, for me, I'll be forced to write this one here, regular. Then we have medium. Then we have deluxe. Yeah, deluxe. I'll be forced to do this. Don't copy this. Actually, I should have continued with this, but my board. So we have here our full cost. Regular is 50/60. Medium is 94. Deluxe is 58,080. And then now come and add profit markup. Add profit markup. So profit markup, what do we have here for profit markup? Have they given us a percentage? Have they given us a percentage for profit markup? So profit markup, they'll give you a percentage somewhere. I believe they've given us a percentage for profit markup. Anybody who is able to see that the total cost per unit is loaded up with a profit markup of 20% to determine the selling price. Yeah. So in this case here, profit markup is 20%. So I'll do for the first one. So 20% of 50,000. So is there somebody who is able to give us the profit markup for regular? Profit markup for regular. Thank you so much, Note 1. Thank you so much, 101. You guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. 101, 2000. Thank you so much. How about 20% of this 94,80,000? 20% of 94,80,000, 96,000. 96,000. And then for deluxe, what do we have there for deluxe? 11,616. 11,616,000 like that. And then I will be able to come and add, and whatever you will get, it's called sales revenue. Whatever you get is called sales revenue. It's called sales revenue. So you come and add, give us sales revenue. Sales revenue. Profit markup, where is it coming from? It's given in the question as a policy. You can see the total cost per unit is loaded a profit markup of 20% to determine the selling price. I hope you're able to see the 20% there. Thanks for asking a question. Okay. What if you calculate 120% direct? Yeah, it's okay, yes. You'll still get the same answers, yes. So I'm being given answers. I'm being given answers here. For medium is 607,2,000. 607,2,000. How about for regular? Sales revenue for regular. Nobody gave me for regular. 11,376,000. 11,376. 11,376,000. 376,000. How about in this case here, deluxe? No, they're saying no. They're saying no. They're saying no. Let me wrap these ones. They're saying no. Let's start from scratch. Let's start from scratch. Regular. Let's start with scratch. Regular. I swapped the two. I've now wrapped them actually. Let me start from scratch. 60,72,000. Thank you very much. 60,72,000. And then we have medium. Medium. 11,376,000. 11,376,000. All right. And then we have deluxe. Deluxe 69,696. 69,696,000. But now after you get these, you must be a very, very bright student. You go back to the question. See what they're asking you exactly to do. Go back to the question and get to see what these ninjas want you to do. At times they'll want total. Some other things they'll want per unit. So like you can see, calculate for each model the full cost and the selling price per watt year per unit under the blanket-wise absorption. So you see they want per unit. I will not panic at all. I know the number of units. I know the number of units. We know the number of units. Do we know the number of units? Yeah, they're given somewhere. The volume, 800, 1200, 4800. $800, 1200, 4800. Great, great. Then you come and tell your examiner that full cost per unit, you're just finishing here. For regular, it will be 60,000 divided by 800. So you divide all those by 800, and then you give me a figure. You divide them by volumes, and then you give me a figure. So 6325, 6325, right? 6325, 6325. All right. And then you go to medium. So medium, you can see the total full cost is 9480,000. So you take 9480,000. So this is for regular. And then we have for medium. Medium, it will be 9480,000 divided by 800, which will give us what figure, ladies and gentlemen, here? 7,900. So this will be 7,900. Not 800, not 800, divided by 1,200, sorry. Divided by 1,200, sorry. Divided by 1,200. So 9480,000 divided by 1,200. Will that give me 7,900? Will that give me 7,900? Because you can see for medium, it's 1,200. Will that give me? Yeah. And then lastly, we have deluxe. We have deluxe. So for deluxe, I can see the full cost is 580. 80,000, we divide this by the number of units under deluxe, 4,800. So are you able to give me a favor here? 12,100. So we have here 12,100. And then we'll be able to get them the selling price. Selling price. So you come here and give me selling price or selling price per unit. Yeah. So selling price per unit. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that these are all sales revenues. All sales revenues. So we have here 72,000. All sales revenues from selling 800. So I want per unit. So divide this by 800. Are you able to give me figures, ladies and gentlemen? I'm being told by Mary Waweru, very aggressive lady, also home PC, I don't know who that is, 7590 regular, 7590 regular. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have here 9480,000, 189, 1137, one sales revenue divided by number of units. So we have here 11,376,000 divided by 1,200. So the second one, medium here, will give us how much? 9480, 9480. Thank you so much. And then lastly, we have deluxe, whose sales revenue is 696,000 divided by 4,800. Divided by 4,800, then we'll be able to give us the correct answer. Be able to give us the correct answer, which is 14,520. 14. So are we able to get these figures very well? Is there any student who did this question and was able to get everything up to here? And I want us to use that totality approach. Don't be doing those figures on just get the totals, get used to that. And then you come and divide later on, because most of your questions will be based on the totals. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, that there are students who did this and they were able to get this by themselves. That is RCM for you. We are good teachers. Yeah, great teachers. Great. Even the students in this case here who never attempted, I'm so sure had they attempted the question, then I would have easily gotten all the students getting it right. Yeah, great. So then from there, if you allow me, yes, in coordination with your clan, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. So then allow Mwalimu here to go and do the same thing, but now using activity-based what here? Using activity-based costing. Using activity-based costing. So this examiner was a great examiner. Okay, I should be notifying you. Maybe if somebody has done that, but also try to speed up your writing. and also do your homework. If you've done your homework, I'm so sure you will be having everything correct. So anybody who is able to send this gentleman the screenshot. I'm so sure you master. Is there somebody who has a whole solution? If you have a whole solution, you can just take a screenshot. This gentleman is in the group, WhatsApp group. I'm 100% sure you'll be able to get. Okay, so these videos, I think now they are becoming popular. I never wanted to bring videos, but now I'm even being called by people that we want these videos to be uploaded somewhere. We shall be able to introduce a folder, which we shall call Special Revision by the CPA Chief Ninja. So you'll be able to see that Special Revision by CPA Chief Ninja. Yeah, it will be a folder. And then we shall be able to organize all those videos from chapter 1. You know, we started with chapter 1. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. I don't skip any chapters, Yeah. So then you'll be able to see them by end of today. But has KO gotten this solution that I apparently rubbed very fast? Or we shall overcome? Somebody doesn't want to share. Somebody doesn't want to share in the group. Someone to share here. As well, those students who told me that Mwalimu, they got it right, I believe they must have written everything. Now, let's agree. In future, of course, I'll be giving you a notification whenever I want to rub, but let's agree that even yourselves, the way I've done this question, if you sit down to do this question yourself, you'll be able to produce even a better answer. Let's agree for the sake of what you're moving forward, right? Because you see a solution, because there are two possibilities. I repeat the whole question, or we agree you attempt it, and in case you'll have an issue, you can call me. I think the second option is better. We agree that you guys will be able to do the question, and then I go ahead and now tackle here. Somebody has shared already. Oh, the videos are already uploaded. I was not even aware. So PC, what is the name of the folder? What is the name of the folder? PC, what is the name of the folder on the LMS? So that everybody can go under SPR. September, December, SPR. Ah, great. Ah, that is good enough. They are there. They are there. They are there. Great. Great. So, and then again, remember, you now. Okay, so now we go to ABC, We go to ABC. So for ABC, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here for ABC? Activity-based costing. The first thing that we need to do, this examiner was able to play around with our students, is the fact that out of these 25,200,000, yeah, this 25,200,000 is the total. He wanted you to distribute this to the various cost pools so that we shall be able to do very well, very fast. So we have in this case here the total overhead. Total overhead. So the total overhead we are given here is 25,200,000, which is apportioned to the various cost pools. That is, we have setup costs. Then we have, ladies and gentlemen, machine costs. So we have machine cost. Then we have material procurement cost. Material procurement cost. Then we have, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, quality control cost. Quality control cost. Yeah. So in this case here, the setup cost, my good students, I can see there straight away is 40%. So 40%. I have in this case here machine cost 20%. We have material procurement cost, 10%. 10%. Then we have quality control cost of 30%, 30%. So then now these ones, percentages, I'll be able now to apportion them to, these ones here. So 40% of 25,200 times 25,200,000. Times 25,200,000 times 25,200,000. So are you able to get, in this case here, these figures? So we have here 10,080,000. 10,080,000. Yeah. And then machine cost, 20% times 25,200,000. 50,40,000. 50,40,000. 50,40,000. Thank you. And then material procurement cost. 25,20,000 there. 25,20,000. Yeah. And then quality control, 30% of 25,200,000. Before I answer that, Ninja, 75,60,000. 75,60,000. You see, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at all the questions that we have in our past papers, the examiner has always given us these figures. The examiner has always given us figures under the cost pools for each one of them. But this time round, he gave us percentages. So we have to take percentages and multiply them with our total overhead for the firm to get. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once I've done that, now I will be able to go straight away to, my cost drivers. So my cost drivers have been provided. I can see my cost drivers, right? So cost drivers, like we have number of setups. Yeah. So we have number of setups. You must understand your cost drivers very well, You must understand your cost drivers very well. Without understanding them, then you will never ever crack the ice. So we have here cost drivers. So cost drivers. Yeah. So cost drivers, what do we have over there? We have a number of setups. So number of setups. So number of setups, I can see for regular, for medium, and for deluxe. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I able to see here? Number of setups. So we have there 64, 120, 320. 64, 120, and 320, like that. After number of setups, the next one is number of orders. So we have here number of orders. So number of orders, ladies and gentlemen, I can see they are 12, 21, 87. 12, 21, 87. Yeah. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have the next one. The next one, we have here, they are called number of inspections. So we have here number of inspections. So number of inspections, what am I able to see? 120, 180, and 456. So we have here 120, 180, and 456. Yeah. And then lastly, what do we have there? Lastly, we have, ladies and gentlemen, number of machine hours. So we have here number of machine hours. Number of machine hours. All right. So number of machine hours, fortunately, they never told us number of machine hours per unit. Yesterday, we learned that if they tell us number of machine hours per unit, then we must multiply. Here, they were gracious enough. They gave us the totals. So then this is 1,200, 1,200. After 1,200, I can see 1,200 again. Yeah. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we happen to be having 14,400 like that. Now, for these cost drivers, we need to ask ourselves from up here. You know, you're given cost drivers for each one of them. So we have number of setups, this is okay. Number of machine hours we have, very good. Already we have this. Number of orders, I think we have this somewhere, number of orders, yes. Then we have number of inspections, all of them are provided. Yeah, then come and give me the totals here. Please give me the totals for each one of them. Give me the totals. Give me the totals. Like number of setups, total 64 plus 120 plus 320. How much shall we get? 504. Thank you so much. 504. And then we have number of orders. 12 plus 21 plus 87. 120. Thank you very much. Then we have in this case here number of inspections. 120 plus 180 plus 456. 756. 756. Then we have in this case here number of machine hours. If you add all of them, what do we have? 16,800. 16,800. 16,800. Great. Then now you can go to the overhead. Overhead, apportionment. Apportionment schedule. Schedule. Yeah. So we have our products here R, M, D. We have our cost driver. Cost driver. Then we have the basis here. Remember the basis, not cost driver, sorry. Sorry for that. Overhead item. So we have our overhead item. And then we have cost driver. So cost driver is what we also call what here the basis. This is what we also call the basis. All right. So we start with the first one. I've left a column for total, sorry. Total. You can put it at the end here, but it's always good to put it here, eh? Total. Yeah, RMD, like that. So we start with the first one. The first overhead. The first overhead, what was the name of the first overhead? The first overhead item, as per the activity. The first one is setup cost. Setup cost. So setup cost, they have told me that the cost driver is number of setups. 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 Yeah. And the total figure, I rubbed mine. I rubbed my total figure. I rubbed my total figure, which fortunately I have my own children here who can give me the figure. The total figure is supposed to be what here? The very total figure I'm being told, ladies and gentlemen, is supposed to be 1080,000. 1080,000. So now, in terms of apportioning this figure to the R, M and the D, R, M and D, you have got two ways, and both of them are correct. So somebody can come and give us OAR for this, OAR for this particular activity. So please listen, and yesterday I had shown you the other method. So OAR, so of course we know that OAR will be equal to the budgeted overhead. Budgeted overhead is 1080,000, all right? You divide this by the total activity. Total activity for setup, are you able to see the total activity is 504? Total activity for setup, remember this setup, it's 504. So is there somebody who is able to give me that answer, OAR for this one? So OAR for this one, oh, it is 1080, 10,080,000, 10,080, 10,080,000, 10,080,000. So 10,080,000. So divided by 504, divided by 504. So I'm being given a figure of 20,000. Now this 20,000 is the overhead absorption rate. So you come now to each one of them, like R is now consuming 64. So what is 64 times that 20,000? You give me a figure. R is consuming 64. So the 20,000 now for the number of setups to get for each individual product, you'll take 20,000, in this case here, times 64. So they're giving me 1280,000. So for R, it is 1280,000. We go to M. So M, you take 20,000 times 120. 20,000 times 120, you give me an answer here. 2.4 million. So we have here 2.4 million. 2.4 million. And then for dog, you take 20,000 times 320, you give me a figure I write there. You give me a figure I write there. 6.4 million. 6.4 million. Now, I always teach this, but for some reason, you'll get students who don't want this method. So what I normally do, I give them a second and a third method. So like now the second method, just reason this as a normal apportionment. And you are apportioning this, ladies and gentlemen, this 10,080,000 using number of setups. So give me, so this will be 64 over 504, 120 over 504. This will be 320 over 504. So can somebody in this case, ladies and gentlemen, just try, like if it is R. So R will take 64 over 504 times this total. Can somebody in this case here confirm that if you take this proportion times 10,080,000, is there somebody who is able to confirm that you shall end up getting this figure? Somebody who is able to confirm that you shall end up getting this figure? Yes. And if you go to M, now you take the proportion of M times this 10,080,000. You'll end up getting the same. So I just want to show you that this method is pretty cool, pretty similar to the other method. Yeah, very, very similar. So I'll be using both methods, and then we'll be able to decide which method is better. So apart from setup cost, ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, we have another cost. We have another cost. And this other cost, what do we have here? This other cost, ladies and gentlemen, is called machining cost. So machining cost, I can see this number of machine hours. So in this case here, machining cost. So we have here machining cost. So we have here number of machine hours, number of machine hours. The total cost is what I do not know. Total cost is what I don't know. Total cost is 40,000. So is there somebody now for this machine cost? Is there somebody who can give me the OAR? Anybody who can give me this OAR for the machine cost? So basically, I will take the machine overhead, I divide by the total machine hours because of the cost driver. So I'll take 40,000, I divide by total machine hours, 16,800. So I will come and say 40,000 divided by 16,800. What figure are we able to get here as OAR? What figure are we able to get here as OAR? Pata potea. I would want to hear from you. I can see 300, 300, 1,500. It is 300, isn't it? So then I will know this is 300 per activity level, per machine hour. So when I go to now R will take this 300 times machine hours. 300 times this 1,200, you write an answer here. 300 times 1,200, you write an answer there. 300 times 14,400, you write an answer there. So is there somebody who is able to give us these figures? So we have here 360,000. 360,000. Then we have 300 times 1,200 again is 360,000. 360,000. 300 times this huge figure of 14,400 will end up giving us 43,20,000. 43,20,000. Yeah, like that. And then now you can easily come and do what here. Rub this if you're the one doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, now we can very easily go ahead and ascertain what here. We can now very easily go ahead and go to the next overhead item. This is ABC. This is ABC. ABC. All right. Now for ABC, ladies and gentlemen, what else do we have there? What else do we have here? I can see we have material procurement cost. So we have material procurement cost. So the material procurement cost, they want me to use number of what here? They want me to use number of orders. They want me to use number of orders. So they want me to use number of orders. Number of orders. So for number of orders, what I need to do is to come and compute OAR. So come here and compute OAR. So OAR for number of orders, I can see the total cost. First of all, you haven't given me the total cost for procurement cost. Can somebody give me this total cost for procurement? 20,000. So take this, divide this by the total number of orders. Divide this by the total number of orders, total there. Because remember, when it's OAR, it is total, eh? Total. So what figure are you able to get, ladies and gentlemen? So OAR, I'm being told, is 21,000. So then just track through your orders. So for R, it will be 21,000. 21,000 times 12. 21,000 times 12, which is 252,000. So this is 252,000. No. Is that the case? 252,000, right? 252,000. How about in this case here for M? Orders of M are 21. So 21 times this OAR of 21,000, which will give me 441,000. So this will give me 441,000. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have here 21,000 times 87. 21,000 times 87. What figure are we able to get? 1827,000. 1827,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, once you have that, now you can go to the last section. The last section that we have here is a section for what? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. The last section will be a section for what here? So the last section that we have here is a section for quality control cost. Quality control cost. So we have here quality control cost. So we have here quality control cost. Quality control cost. So quality control cost, they have told us to use number of inspections. So we have here number of inspections. So number of inspections, of course, before I even go there, could you kindly give me this total quality control cost? Anybody who could be having a figure for total quality control cost? 75,60,000. So this is 75,60,000. Thank you very much. And the number of inspections I can see in total, they are 756. They are 756. So you're able to get your OAR very, very easily because you use the total, eh? So take this divided by 7. So the OAR I'm being told here is 10,000, right? The OAR is 10,000. And then you track through. So you track through the inspections here. The inspections are the ones that are driving the cost. So you say 10,000 times 120 for R. 1.2 million. So the first one is 1.2 million. And then 10,000 times, in this case here, 1.8. 180, I mean, that gives us 1.8 million. 1.8 million. And then, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, we have here 10,000 times our inspections, there are 756. A crazy, huge figure. Crazy, huge figure. Anybody who is able to get it? Number of inspections, 756. So we have 10,000. I can't see them. I want to get all the answers from you. Oh, it is times 456. Yes, sorry. I was reading the total. It's supposed to be this 456. So it's supposed to be 456. Yeah, like that. So then having finished everything, come for the 3 products alone, give me the total overheads. You give me the total overheads for the 3. Give me the total overheads for the 3. Don't add grand total, total of total. No. I want total for R, total for M, total for D. So regular, I'm being told, is 3092,000. 3092,000. All right. And then we have M. M, I'm told, is 50,01,000. M is 50,01,000. How about dog? Dog, 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 dog. Medium, thank you so much, George. This George Ndonji is a new student. I've never heard of him, but he seems to be very aggressive, which is really good. Thank you so much. 17, 17, 17, 107,000. So 17, 107,000. 17, 107,000. Ladies and gentlemen, once you reach here, do you think you've finished the question? Do you think you've finished the question? Because I get so many students who basically answer questions halfway. And then they keep on calling me man from Maragua. At times others call me CPA Chief Ninja. Come here, we buy you soup. When I ask them, why are you buying me soup? Then they'll tell me, Mwalimu, you taught us very well. We are going to pass. When results are out, even you try calling them, they don't pick. Because the outcome is like this. Because they don't know the, MA is about reading questions severally. You must go back to the question. It's not like ABC, you just distribute cost and then you run away that you're finished. No, you must read the question severally. Like this question was all about full cost. So you must give us a full cost statement now. So when you talk of full cost, what does it mean? Yeah. So in this case here, there are prime costs, isn't it? So you must give us, there are two ways. If you are time constrained, listen, if you are time constrained, you can come and say here, add prime cost. You continue with this statement, add prime cost. But if you have the time, you can go ahead and do a separate statement when you capture the full cost, direct and indirect. So direct are the direct material costs, direct labor costs, and then we have in this case here, the overheads. And then you get total, add in this case here, yeah, profit, get sales revenue. I believe where we have reached, if Mwalimu was to stop there, Mwalimu has already done his part. But again, most importantly, we can't just let you go without harassing you a little bit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know that profit markup is normally added to costs to get selling price. To get selling price. But now you see, your examiner is bright. What your examiner will always do, they will come and give you what we call profit margin. They'll tell you profit margin is 25%. So then the question is, when I'm given profit margin, how do I change it to profit markup? How do I change it to profit markup? The other one, I can just leave that question where I've been able to reach, because like I showed you yesterday, the only difference will be in the overhead absorption, the overhead distribution. The prime costs will always be the same, regardless of the method you're using. Do you remember that? Prime cost will always be the same. Do you remember that concept that prime cost will always be the same? These guys are forgotten. These guys are forgotten. Prime cost will always be the same. The same. Do you remember that, ladies and gentlemen? Do you remember that prime cost will always be the same? Yeah, prime cost will always be the same, yes. So you simply come and add those prime, the ones that we had using the other method, eh? Yeah, you add them the way they are. You bring the figures the way they are here. Then you finish the question on yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're supposed to know, when you are given profit margin, as A over B, always know that margin has a bigger base. Margin has a bigger denominator. Kwa Kiswahili, margin iko na makalio makubwa. Margin. So whenever you want to go down to markup, hiyo ina makalio. Makalio yake ni kidogo yani. So unasema ni A over B minus A, like that. So whenever we want to go down to markup, remember the numerators will be the same. Difference is the size of the denominator. Markup will always have a smaller denominator. Well, what do you mean? So if you tell me that profit margin, if you tell me profit margin is 25%, I'll write like this. I will say margin is 25 over 100. And therefore, markup will be equal to what? Somebody who is able to follow what I'm discussing here. If now A is 25 and B is 100 and B is 100, what is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, is that markup has a smaller denominator. Markup yana makalio madogo. So utakuja useme hapa 25 over 100, you deduct that 25. So it will be 25 over 75. This is the correct answer. If you want, you can divide those fives or whatever, but even if you leave it that way, you will always be correct. So if you go to, and this is really there in your exams throughout, if you go to a question, then you realize they're asking you for a revenue statement, you've been able to get costs, and then you realize they're giving you profit margin. Then you must remember very fast that, hey, this one I have to change it to markup, to markup, to markup, to markup. So is there somebody who has been able to understand this one term? You know, there are things you need to understand one term, and then you shall be able to use them throughout your CPA journey, throughout your CPA journey. Yeah. 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 Great. So please mark up, always mark up. So if, for example, you are given something like this, let me just teach you something very nice here. You'll go to an exam, and then you realize they have given you markup a half. Can you kindly give me the margin? Give me the margin. Kweli mlipata one term kweli. Sababu ushajua kwamba margin utaongeza. Sababu margin, so ukipewa markup, if this is markup which is A over B, then now to get margin yana makalio makubwa. So margin nitaongeza chini. So nitakuja hapa niseme A is 1 all over 2 plus 1, which gives me a third, like that. So this one is the biggest thing that I'm selling to you today. So my next chapter is chapter number 6. Chapter number 6 is so special to us because it is the one that talks about process costing. So we have 3 key major topics. If you miss those classes, you cannot pass. The 3 major topics remaining. Not remaining, but major. Process, budgets, standard costing. Marginal, therefore, marginal absorption costing. Therefore, if you attend those ones, plus now whatever you've done, you will never see me teaching you at this level. We can only meet at higher places. So please don't miss next weekend's classes. They're going to be special. And we are going straight away to process. Otherwise, from your chief ninja to yourselves, it's bye. Bye-bye. And of course, continue marketing RCM. Continue marketing RCM. RCM, for the students who are here, and they may have been in other colleges. But they are joining us this time around. Of course, we can't be perfect. But those students, in this case here, most of them call me and they tell me that Mwalimu RCM, you are special. Your teachers are good. The learning management system is good. That's what they normally tell me. Yeah, and that's why we call ourselves, in this case here, the East Africa's #1, like this. So if there are any new students here who would want to join us, this is the best, because also these free classes are now coming to an end, such that we shall only be sending links to the WhatsApp groups of those students who have paid us fees. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Piers. Thank you, George. Yeah, you're bringing one next year. This is Canon. Thank you so much. Be blessed. So please keep on singing the song of RCM out there so that we can become The number one, of course, open private university. Our aim is in the next 3 years, we should become an open private university. We have Open University of Kenya, which is public. We need a private one now. Thank you so much. Bye. Wow, somebody's bringing next week. Yeah, Jean Bosco, if you bring one for MA, please don't fail to call me for 500 bob. If you bring one, not for any subject, but MA. If you bring one for MA, call me right away for 500 bob. I'll give you my personal number. Yeah. For MA, don't bring one for company law. And then you tell me, Mwalimu, will give me something for management accounting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye.